Welcome back, guys. My name is Patrick, and this is Trade Proposals Volume 5, a series looking at different trades the Edmonton Oilers can make to improve the roster. I've provided links to Volumes 1 through 4 in the description below. Let's get started with trade number 1. To the Dallas Stars, Zack Kassian, who has a $3.2 million contract for the next 3 years. To the Edmonton Oilers, goaltender Anton Khudobin, who has a $3.33 million contract for the next 2 years. I know, nobody wants Anton Khudobin, and trust me, he's not high on my list at the present time either. My thinking with this trade is just to give 2 players a clean slate and see what happens. Kassian is overpaid and under-delivering in Edmonton. Khudobin is doing the same thing in Dallas. Their contracts are nearly a wash, with the exception being that Kassian has an extra year on his contract. But as of now, Kassian is the more useful player. Maybe the Oilers would need to add a late-round pick, but I would try and swing the deal as is first. Obviously, if the Oilers can land a better goaltender, don't do this deal. Like I said, this is more just to try 2 guys in a different location and see if you get a different result. Trade number 2, to the Seattle Kraken, Tyson Barrie, who has a $4.5 million contract for the next 3 years. Goaltender Mikko Koskinen, who has a $4.5 million contract for the remainder of this season. But in this trade, the Oilers would retain 50% of Koskinen's remaining salary, so Seattle would be taking on $2.25 million in this trade. Kailer Yamamoto, who has a 1-year contract at $1.175 million, and Tyler Benson, who also has a 1-year contract at $750,000. In this trade, Seattle would be acquiring $8,675,000 in cap. To the Edmonton Oilers, defenseman Carson Soucy, who signed a $2.75 million contract for the next 2 years. Goaltender Chris Driedger, who signed at a $3.5 million contract for the next 3 years. And Mason Appleton, who has a $900,000 contract for the remainder of this season. As I mentioned, the Oilers would be retaining 50% of Koskinen's contract, which is $2.25 million, so the Oilers in total would be taking on $9,400,000 in this trade. I tried to make this deal as fair and appealing as possible for both sides. For both sides, there are risks and rewards. Seattle gains a power play specialist in Barrie, a Washington State native and a former first-round pick in Yamamoto, and a prospect looking for more opportunity in Tyler Benson. Koskinen can be Grubauer's backup for the remainder of the season, and then he's off the books, and for half the price. The Oilers get a left-shot D having a solid season in Carson Soucy, a goalie in Driedger who has struggled this season but has posted solid numbers previously in Florida, and a strong addition to their bottom 6 in Mason Appleton. For both this trade and the Khudobin trade, a lot will depend on the health of Mike Smith. For any years beyond this one, the Oilers have to take into consideration that Skinner won't be waivers exempt. Do the Oilers go with Smith and Skinner, or do they look to upgrade? Trade number 3. Now I know most everyone is probably going to hate this one, and don't worry, I'm sure it's an extreme long shot that a trade like this ever even gets considered. My inspiration for this trade is the Islanders Coyotes deal from last summer that saw Andrew Ladd moved from Long Island to Arizona for a 2021 second, 2022 second, and 2023 conditional third. In this proposal, I take it bigger. It was also noted on TSN Insider Trading this week that the Coyotes are willing to take on contracts for future assets. In this trade, to the Arizona Coyotes, Mikko Koskinen at $4.5 million for the remainder of this season, Zack Kassian at $3.2 million for the next 3 years, Tyson Barrie at $4.5 million for the next 3 years, Tyler Benson at $750,000 for this season, Dmitry Samorukov for $825,000 this season, Edmonton's 2023 first-round draft pick, and Edmonton's 2023 third-round draft pick. And of course, to the Edmonton Oilers, simply future considerations. The Oilers would clear $13,775,000 in cap space with this deal. I think the Coyotes would consider this because there isn't really one piece in this deal that you can say is a pure add-on. They are useful players for the Coyotes. Koskinen is done at the end of this season. After this year, Kassian and Barrie only have 2 years on their contracts, and Tyler Benson and Dmitry Samorukov are pieces they can use towards their rebuild. The first and third help to close the deal. Or maybe they wouldn't. They could demand more picks or better prospects, and this deal could be dead before it's even considered. But I thought I would throw it out there as something to ponder and debate. Well, guys, what do you think? Love them? Hate them? Let me know in the comment section below. I know I usually get a lot of haters with these, so I'm sure that'll continue with this video, but if there's anything you like there, let me know in the comment section below. If this is your first visit to the channel and you like what you see, please consider liking and subscribing for all the latest Oilers content. You've been watching the Oilers Fanatic. Thanks for being a fan. Have a great evening, guys, and I'll see you soon. Take care.